so that I could find a cinematic commercial way to play a sociopathic serial killer that would engage you and frighten the shit out of you at the same time.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Ms. Stone, seriously, this is such an honor. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake, and good day, Chicago.
Yeah, so I've got to say, one of the benefits I would imagine of doing a series is that you get a character and really get to flesh out a character over multiple episodes and hopefully multiple seasons. And with a movie, obviously you've done a great job with it, but you only have 2 hours to do it. So I was wondering, you've done so many incredible cinematic characters. What is a cinematic character you've had in the past that you would have loved to have the chance to explore over multiple episodes or maybe even multiple seasons?
Maybe the Muse.
Oh, why that one?
Well, because I think the Muse was such a cool, quirky character who was ultimately trying to do something good, something interesting, something illuminating. But I like that she didn't have patience for people, that she just didn't suffer a fool at all. And I like that she was like, I'm here to grant wishes. I'm here to do good things. But if you're stupid, get out of my way. And I just thought that was kind of like a really interesting character. And when Albert called me up and pitched it to me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And he's like, you don't need to see the script. I'm like, I've seen your movies. I like this idea. Let's go for it.
I like it. I feel like right now Netflix is just like writing all this down. They're like, this is good. I love it.
It's really great. And he's like, okay, then if you don't need to see the script, make the character up however you want to. And so I made myself have all that hair like Coolio because I thought Coolio was so coolio. And so I had the weird Coolio hair. And I love that he let me do that. You know, I love that he let me be eccentric. Like she could have that kooky rapper hair that she thought was just so in, you know? And I like this type of thing, but if I could do something and explore it further, I'd probably like to explore comedy.
One, I think you are fantastic, and you could pull off any genre you wanted to. You know, I read a really interesting interview with Louise Fletcher, obviously who played the original Nurse Ratched, who said that she never necessarily approached Nurse Ratched as a villain. She said she didn't really understand why the character was always on the top villain list. She said from her perspective, she genuinely felt like she was doing the right thing. So I'm curious, when you do a character like Catherine in Basic Instinct, do you have that same mentality where you don't necessarily approach it as a villain? You just sort of approach it because the character is doing what she believes she needs to be doing?
I do all kinds of research for the various characters that I play, whether it's period research for Ratched, whether it's, you know, I love, like for Ratched, I really like Barbara Stanwyck was kind of, and Betty Davis are kind of like the acting from that period was kind of like, that's what I kind of thought that should be kind of in that range. You know, when I did Trammell in Basic Instinct, I read every version of Joan of Arc. Because she thought she was a savior and everybody thought she was crazy. And then I also watched all the serial killers that I could find that had been recorded talking about being a serial killer, so that I could see what do serial killers all have in common. And I did tons of different kinds of research about people that thought that they were somehow separate from everybody else's rules in society for whatever reason, and people who were just straight up killers. And so that I could find a cinematic commercial way to play a sociopathic serial killer that would engage you and frighten the shit out of you at the same time during the period of AIDS. So we're looking at things from a logic perspective in that period. And then we have to create then, of course, the chemistry of the character and the look of the character. When we look at a character like Ratched, for example, Ratched is a character that comes together because Sarah is doing the prequel, the pre-life of the Ratched that we know. And of course, she doesn't start out stern as this tough professional with her emotional life on interior. She's a younger woman, decades before, who isn't aiming. That's not her aim. Her aim isn't to be that. Nobody's aim is to end up there, right? So what is she aiming at, and what are these collisions that keep happening that send her in a different course? And so my job is to be a major collision factor for her, so that either she realizes that she either gets in the friggin' car with me, or I'm going to drive her off the road. Like, don't play chicken with me, baby, right? And so she has to either like fall under what I'm doing, or she has to figure out how to outsmart me, right? So that she has enough resistance that we start to recognize how she gets where she's going, right? So my job is to sort of not out-villain the villain, but to villainize the villain.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. I'm getting so excited just talking to you about this. They're giving me the rap. I just want to say, because it's the 25th anniversary, Casino is one of the all-time great films, and your performance in that is absolutely brilliant. And I wanted to get a chance to talk to you, but they ran out of time.
Appreciate that, Jake. Thank you.
So, thank you so much for your time, and seriously, truly an honor. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.